it seems unbelievable to me that 4 years ago I came to Damon College for Scholars Day. It was a day of firsts, my first time to Buffalo, my first visit to Damon, and my first actual experience with snow. And despite the horrifying sight of what seemed like 100 feet of snow that surrounded the campus, I just knew that Damon was going to be my home. Like most of you, I began my college search knowing that I was at the top of my class. I was smart and driven and eager to begin the steps that would ultimately lead to the fulfillment of my goals. I came to Damon as a political science major, and unlike the overwhelming majority of college students, I have not changed my major. I came to study the law, the Constitution, political parties, and every aspect of government that would eventually lead to my acceptance into law school. That was the plan. So I packed my bags in my car and I drove 1,200 miles from Dallas to Damon. I came alone. I didn't know anyone. I was fearless and I was driven, and I had the world at my feet. I lived on campus my freshman year and experienced all the joys that a college campus provides, combined with learning communities, late-night visits to Cyber Cafe, walks to Denny's, snowball fights and snowman building contests, and being that it was my first real winter, I had to do it right. Fear of the library resource catalog, basic math, and my first real appreciation for coffee, I wore the mark of a freshman very proudly. After moving off campus at the beginning of my sophomore year, I began contemplating the possibility of studying abroad. My mother was thrilled. I think the exact words I got were something like, "What, New York was a foreign boy?" To which I kind of just smiled and kind of relished in the fact that I got to torture her for a change. The undiscovered natural beauty of Africa is something that always intrigued me. So I got out the globe, I went to the Global Studies office, and I said, "Hey, I want to go here." With the help and support of the administration and several different departments on campus, I left in January 2007 for the country of Botswana. It's a small country, ironically about the same size as Texas, above South Africa. As a political science major, I went to Botswana with the intention of studying international relations in sub-Saharan Africa. But Botswana had other plans for me. After learning the language, bathing in a bucket, living without electricity and extreme heat, eating parts of animals that need not be named, especially right here at lunchtime, and attempting to assimilate into a new culture, my view of the world we live in and the nature of the people around the world began to change. My point of view exploded after experiencing only a tiny bit of the many cultures that this world has to offer. However, my plans of studying international relations took an unexpected backseat to something that was seemingly unanticipated to me at the time. It was the pandemic. And although the high populations of AIDS is something that is generally associated with sub-Saharan Africa, Botswana's high AIDS population and its effects on the culture and the people, it shapes every aspect of every day of every way of life. So for 6 months, it became my way of life. I worked in an ARV clinic and learned about CD4 levels and blood pressures, pregnancy, children, orphans of AIDS, medical cocktails, and the physical as well as the financial toll that this disease has on individuals as well as a nation. Working in a medical clinic was very unexpected, and every day I felt so insignificant, especially when people would come up to me and say, "Nyaka, doctor, please help me." My last months abroad, I found myself working and conducting research in Botswana's refugee camp with political refugees. Built during the times of apartheid, today over 3,000 refugees from 23 countries are protected and housed within a 3-mile compound. It's a safe haven for people and their children who have experienced unimaginable pain and horror. And despite that, I have never met such wonderful, caring, and loving people. The weight of their problems and the distance between them and their homes is forgotten, and they live every day in utter joy and utter happiness. While I was abroad, I also had the opportunity to speak with many significant figures in Botswana's history. I met a man by the name of Mike Dinyake. Mr. Dinyake was a political opposition leader during the years of apartheid. He was arrested for fighting against the oppressive apartheid regime. He was imprisoned with Nelson Mandela for 17 years on Robben Island. He shared with me a tiny bit of his infinite wisdom, and today he lives his life in pursuit of nonviolent conflict resolution and peace. I met doctors and midwives, government officials, tribal chiefs, and military personnel who all attempt to achieve prosperity and economic growth in a struggling nation. Everyone everywhere struggles to create a balance between the possibilities of the future and the youth, while struggling with a staggering number of deaths from AIDS. During my stay in Botswana, the news of the Virginia Tech tragedy came to us, and as I was glued to the television and CNN, my host mother at the time asked me, in America, why do you kill one another in your schools? And I didn't have an answer, and I still don't have an answer. But taking the many lessons that Botswana gave me, I decided that I wanted to seek the answer to many of the questions that were presented to me, but also many questions of my own. Study abroad gave me an education that no textbook or lesson plan will ever match. Botswana gave me a lesson in life and in death, in pain and in suffering, but more importantly in the value of human life and the resilience of the human spirit. Nationality, race, gender, language, income, these are all transcended by the desire to learn and become a part of something greater. The direction of my life and my future has been shaped by the many experiences that I've had over the last 4 years, but none as greatly as my time abroad. I know what I want to do with my life and the direction that I hope to take, and although it may no longer include law school, I'm happy. And being happy with the decisions that I've made and the decision that I will make will mean more than anything. After returning home, I decided that my senior thesis would be dedicated to the pursuit of the truth and the formation and creation of truth commissions. Although my thesis is complete, my pursuit of knowledge on the subject and my hopes of making a lasting contribution to the field is not. I came home at the beginning of what would be the longest presidential primary in the history of this country. Sarah Palin, Hillary's pantsuits, Obama's flag lapel pin, Reverend Wright, hockey moms, and what seemed like a never-ending media frenzy pretty much sums up my education over the last year and the buzz on campus. Registration drives, post-debate debates, classrooms filled with opinions and current events. This is it. But 30 years from now, when someone asks me where I was when Barack Obama was elected for president, I'll tell them I was among friends and colleagues at Damon College. On January 20th, I sat at home watching television and was in awe of the leadership and the ideals that our generation gets to lay claim to. Our generation will usher in healthcare reform, Social Security reform. We will settle and resolve trillions of dollars in national debt and resolve a war that has devastated several continents. At this college, and any college that you go to, you will share your classroom with Iraq War veterans. And in May, when I graduate, I'll honorably share the stage with the recipient of the Purple Heart. Our generation will initiate and usher in lasting change, and with the right education and an unbound thirst for knowledge, you have the potential to make a difference, whether in art, or teaching, or medicine, or government. You are only inhibited by your dreams and your own imagination. I am not and will not be bound by my race or my gender, and I am committed to the pursuit of what is right and what is needed and necessary for the betterment of this country and the world. And I am so grateful to live in a country where the ballot is always legitimized over the bullet, and that I can proudly stand with a president and colleagues and friends who are dedicated to a renewed call to greatness. Graduating in May presents many challenges, but the education and the life lessons that Damon has given me gives me confidence in myself and my abilities. I have lasting friends and everlasting opportunities. And it seems unbelievable to me that in May, me and my 5 fellow scholarship recipients will be the first graduating trustee scholars. We were the first, and although I like to think that the bar has been set very high, every fall I am amazed at the caliber of incoming students and trustee scholars. 4 years ago, I made a choice. It's the same choice that all of you will make very soon. And like all of you, I could have gone anywhere and I could have done anything. But that's something special, my gut feeling. It led me to Damon College. And if given the choice, I wouldn't hesitate a second to make that choice again. And I wish I could say that I'll see you all next fall, but as my journey at Damon ends, I wish you all the best in one of your many life's beginnings. I hope you've all had a wonderful day and have a safe journey.